Hey guys, it's GalahadB again, and I'm back with my coverage of the 2023 World Tournament. This year around, we have a completely different format. There's going to be two initial rounds, and if you win your series in any of the first two rounds, then you automatically proceed to the knockout event. So unlike last year where we had a much smaller top cut and you needed to battle your way through 4 rounds of Swiss before you get there. And we have many more players than last year. So yeah, it's going to be exciting. So this is my round 1, game 1 series against krechet. I have played against him once before, so this is only our second game total. I got the shadow for game 1. This is a best of 3 series, but like I said, if I don't win this series, then I can try again in round 2, and if I do win this series, then I will go straight to round 3. So yeah, probably, or in other words, this is the only series that I can afford to lose and still defend my title. But let's hope I won't lose this series. I'd much rather just win everything, but we'll see how it goes. Alright, so krechet starts with Rider's Theoden, All Cloak, 2 playable cards, it's always great, but he did not roll a Palantir. I have that luxury. I have 3 Palantirs, no playable card, and only a single attack. So not the best start to the game at all, but we'll see. So yeah, I start out by drawing because he's not going to give me a ring, and I have no playable card. I do have a playable card now, but Rage at the Dunlandings is not a card that I'm excited about this early on in the game. It's a great card, but it's like, yeah. So I draw another card, and it's Many Kings, one of my most favorite early master cards. I like having 10 units in Rune. So yeah, that's good. So I hit him. I'm happy. I draw 3. I'm not happy anymore. So yeah, I set him up for a possible turn 2 Gandalf. No reveal. But yeah, hitting him with only 1 eye was pretty fortunate though. But honestly, I had like if it's gonna be a 3, I'd prefer not hitting him than hitting him with a 3. So this way that if he rolls a will next round, he might not get Gandalf if I don't hit him here. I get Saruman, doesn't have a will shake now, so might as well go for it. And he musters up in Rohan, makes sense. I play Many Kings, why not? And yeah, of course, he musters the moves the Rohan army. A lot of sense. And yeah, I move Harad and not North Dunland or Dol Guldur because with Corsairs in hand and me starting with low attacks and high musters makes me really consider just going for Guldur right away and not go to Dew and certainly not go for Rohan. So that's why I prioritize moving the Harad army. So now I do get a lot more attacks, which I'm very happy about, and he gets Gandalf. So, I mean, this turn I'm much more happy about my roll at least, but I'm very much not happy about seeing Gandalf the White coming into play. Yeah, I'm not getting the Witch King this round because I don't want to attack Minas Tirith here, even though I could, but it would make it very easy for him to muster up in Dol Amroth before I get a chance to play Corsairs of Umbar, so that's not worth it to maybe get 1 die 1 round faster. Yeah, he gets Gandalf, he moves, save, fine with me. So I attack Osgiliath here. Oh yeah, the reasoning was that he didn't muster Gondor previously, and if he musters them to war now, then at least I get the Witch King here. So I felt like he probably wouldn't muster Gondor to war. And indeed he does not do that, because he doesn't want to give me a free Witch King. But this makes me push the Southrons to war, so I get to besiege an almost empty Dol Amroth. So at least that worked out kinda well. And yeah, I don't remember exactly how the game went. We played last week, but I remember that the early turns were a little rough, like turn 1 with only 1 attack and 3 Palantirs, and now this so many eyes against a Fellowship that has enjoyed a pretty pleasant journey. But it's okay. So he moves against 4 eyes, I don't hit him. I play Cassaz, which he's obviously not happy about. So he can muster up a little in Minas Tirith, which is okay. Means that the 1 regular surviving from Masgiliath didn't really matter at all. Now he separates Pippin, which means, okay, he has something. Yeah, Fear Fire Foes. I don't really mind that, because I might still get Erebor, even if he musters up some in you, and I'm not really looking at you otherwise. So the plan right now is take over Gondor for 5 victory points, rage at the Dunlandings, to Rivendell at some point to get 2 more victory points, so I'm at 7, and then it's either Erebor and then Dale for the final 10, or maybe Rivendell plus Lorien. I'm not exactly sure at this point. Probably Rivendell plus Lorien, and then Dale. It's a very strong possibility. So now I get the Witch King. He gets Fear Fire Foes, and I start besieging Minas Tirith. And I'm debating here between just outright using Grond, because I feel very pressured with how little attacks I had early on and how safely the Fellowship is moving. But because he used a character die to separate a companion instead of moving the Fellowship again, like, okay, maybe I have enough time to make this work and not risk the Witch King on round 3. I mean, it would be pretty unlikely for him to get this many hits, but still, I don't feel comfortable risking him here. The downside, though, is I don't really have a good card to play. I think I choose to play Relentless Assault from Day Without Dawn, because he's got Gandalf anyways now, so Day Without Dawn is not that useful, probably. Oh no, I choose to... I rage. Okay. I guess it does make sense, because with New Powers Rising, I have enough units as it is, so I only lose 2 movement. Yeah. Maybe even only 1 movement, because if I New Power first, then I can't bring all the Dunlandings over, because I can only move 4 with this card. Yeah, it makes more sense, I guess. 3 hits, and he only gets 1, so that's very good for me. I press because I have some hopes of maybe taking it cleanly this round. And I think now I play Day Without Dawn, yeah. But now I'm thinking if I take 2 hits to myself and he gets 4 hits on me, then I might be left with only 1 regular, and it's gonna take a while to get reinforcements over. So I choose to only take a single hit to my army. And thankfully it wouldn't have mattered if I had done more, so it turned out to be a good choice. And he does get 3 hits back, so I'm kind of glad that I didn't sacrifice 2 into that. But now he can muster up, and it's gonna take a long time to get reinforcements over, so it's not ideal. and I roll a bunch of eyes again, and he gets a bunch of movement. So usually it's not perfect, I guess, rolling high movement against high eyes. But like I said, Fellowship has enjoyed a very pleasant journey so far. Perfect 3-draw, kill off Gandalf, and 3 moves without being hit. So I think you can start opening up a little. But he starts mustering up first, which is reasonable, I guess. Yeah, and he's preparing to strike at the Witch King from Elagir. Only move the Fellowship once, which also makes some sense. A little risky in case I have something like Shadows Gather, which I don't. Yeah. But I do have this to at least it's painful. Very painful. But at least like the thing is I didn't have a character die, so I couldn't really move the Witch King away. I guess I could have, yeah, with Ringwraiths, I could have moved him elsewhere. But I also didn't want to leave Minas Tirith so weak that he can just attack it and get basically a free round of combat against my army. Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe I should have just moved near Harad and Gorgoroth and let the Minas Tirith army sit there. But I wanted to be able to attack him right back once he liberates Minas Tirith from the siege, so that he cannot start mustering elites into Minas Tirith. So yeah, that's why I did it the way I did. So he will win the fight here. I get a hit back, and now I besiege him again, and he basically has to go on the siege. Oh yeah, that was some debate. He wanted to play fast, and then he forgot to leave one regular behind because he figured I would attack him, so I let him undo the move of that last regular, so that he doesn't send anyone back to reinforcements. So he moves, he's safe again, and I play New Powers Rising, setting up for Rivendell. Or maybe in a desperation, Helm's Deep, but that seems unlikely to me. So he bunch of movement, but he can't make it into Mordor this round at least. Or at least it would be a kind of a miracle if he gets 5 moves and no reveals. And indeed, I do hit him on step 6. And yeah. And it's a 3NT random, so it's a Strider. And I'm thinking, can you take the 3 here? But I think taking a random there is correct. And if you look at his roll this round, losing Strider right now isn't even that bad. I mean, it's not going to affect you this round. It's going to accelerate Gollum, so it's probably not the end of the world. And it's very corruption efficient, right? You lost Gandalf to 3, you lost Strider to 3, you had 4 safe movements. Like, it's not looking bad corruption-wise. So I realized my army in Minas Tirith is not big enough this round, and I can't get reinforcements in there this round, because while I have Shadow is moving, I only have 2 attack dice. Because the Gorgoroth army here can't move with a character die because it does not have leadership. And mustering Nazgul didn't seem worth it either. They needed more elites elsewhere, so yeah, switch focus. So the idea now is to just win Dol Amroth this round, and then move the Dol Amroth army over to Minas Tirith, and let Gorgoroth just basically sit there. Yeah, this may look stupid because I played Deadly Strife in a combat like Double Emerald here. But not playing a card felt kinda weak too, because I have a good use for Grunt, taking down Ministerith later on. I have a good use for fighting Urkai to take down Rivendell later on. I definitely need Shadows moving so I can armies around, because I'm so low on attacks. And Orc Patrol is potentially great. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe playing Orc Patrol in combat and hoping for cruel weather would be an option. But cycling deep into this strategy deck also feels like a very solid choice. So yeah, I take Dol Amroth. I play Shadows Moving now, setting myself up for Dale, Rivendell, Ministerith. And I draw into Half-Orcs and Goblin Men, which I'm very happy about. And so, yeah, now he says, tell me later if this makes any sense. And I'm thinking, oh, is he really gonna give me a ring to march into Umbar? And that's exactly what he does. And I think that's a pretty big mistake, considering the state of the game. Like, Shadow is at only 3 victory points. Fellowship will make it into Mordor next round if you move one more time or 2 more times this round. Fellowship is pretty healthy. Hunt pool is looking very friendly. Like, the odds of dunking with Fellowship are so good that I don't think pivoting to military approach is a very smart choice. You already lost Strider, so you'll never get a 6th die. And where are your other 2 victory points coming from? Like, you only have the North and Gondor at war. I guess if Dol Guldur leaves and goes towards Lorien, you might have an opening, but that's not happening for a while. So, like, at the moment, it's very hard for me to see where the other 2 victory points are coming from. And I do have 8 regulars parked in Minas Morgul that could just take Umbar at any point if you don't move quickly and you just give me a ring and not really get much out of it. Like, I think the best approach would have been to just move the Fellowship. Like, it's only against 2 eyes. You definitely want to move at least one more time. And, you know, Fellowship is so healthy. Why not move twice? I mean, the Hunt pool is so friendly. You got rid of a 3, another 3, and a 2. So there's not so much damage left anymore. So I think that the goal should really be get to Mordor on turn 6 and win the game by turn 9. And considering how slow the Shadow is, that should be enough. But yeah, I think that was a pretty big mistake. And he still didn't move the Fellowship and instead played Axe and Bow. Playing it very safe. I don't know. Do you need to do that now? You have Boromir as the guide. You still have both Gimli and Legolas. You might roll Palantir die to play it with next round. Like, only against 2 eyes, I think I would definitely move it. And maybe move again. So, yeah, he gave me a ring so that now I can attack one more time, which I will. Don't really have a card that I want to cycle. Like I said, maybe Orc Patrol. Yeah, maybe I should have cycled Orc. But I like the tile drawing cards. And I was thinking Orc Patrol might not do a lot of damage, but it might fish one of the reveal tiles and maybe stall him next round, considering he's not moving Fellowship as much as I feel like he should have. So he does move again. I hit him. The reveal. Don't you wish you had another character die to hide here to improve your odds of making it in next round? Because without Strider, that's actually a painful reveal. Yeah, I could play Half Orcs, but I don't know exactly where to play it right now, so better to get a red tile in here. And yeah, it's a roll that might get him to Moto if he's not hit nor revealed on his 2 moves, and if Orc Patrol fails to hit him. So I'm reasonably worried that he might still make it into Moto this round, but I also feel like there's a solid chance that he's not making it into Moto this round. So moves, he's safe. I play Grunt here. Like that means I only have the character die left to play Orc Patrol, which is not ideal, but I don't know. I really wanted to make sure I get Ministered here. If I have a big army left over, then maybe that can pressure Lorien or Edoras. Maybe I should. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have like Grand. But I don't think I need the leadership elsewhere this round. The plan is to besiege Rivendell, but I don't have to attack it down this round. So yeah, really have a good combat card to play, so it's gonna be a great host. And I can, well, I could have downgraded elites because I played Grun to make sure I have enough combat rounds. So it was a guaranteed hit, pretty much. And yeah, this round I rolled a lot of hits, so didn't really need Grant, but didn't know that before. So he moves again, I hit him, and it's a 0 reveal. So perfect tile means I don't have to play Orc Patrol, and he's not making it into Mordor. But like I said, if he had hidden last round with one of his 3 remaining character dice, then this roll would have been enough to get him into Mordor because I didn't have Cruel Weather. So yeah, a little too careful on his side. And I'm now feeling pretty confident about my chances to win the game. Now I'm sitting at 5 victory points. Rivendell is basically a done deal at this point. So I'll be at 7 victory points before he even makes it into Mordor. Working on my way towards my next victory points. It's not looking good for him now. Like if he had gotten to Mordor this round, then yes, then it would have been very, very painful for me. But like this, feels good. I attack Dale now to stop his mustering, and the idea is to get Wooden Drum and Rivendell. The elves are so far away from being at war. And Woodland Realm looked very weak until he pulled out Thranduil's archers. But I have Shadows Gather. I have an army sitting in Dol Guldur, so should still be fine. The Rivendell first. Is a party raid, obviously. And I roll a bunch of eyes again. Not happy about that, but I am happy about the free turn that I have gotten, so can't really complain. Oh, besieging Woodland Realm. Yeah, here I'm leaving some guys behind, so that I can stave off an attack coming out of Erebor to try and take back Dale. And if I have only one regular in Dale, then I might lose it, and then it's gonna be a little uncomfortable to get to Edoras. That costs me 3 dice. I leave 2 behind, thinking, okay, 8 HP against 5. Not ideal, but should be enough, especially with Shadows Gather in hand and an army sitting in Dol Guldur ready to march over. So Fellowship moves, safe. I move leadership around. He moves again to be safe from Cruel Weather, which I agree with. 2, no reveal, so good for him. So here is at effective -3 corruption with accent bonus and -4 corruption. A very friendly looking pool. But he does not have Stride anymore. Yeah, I attacked Rivendell with fighting Uruk-hai like I planned from several turns ago. And now I have 10 HP against 4. That should be enough. But I don't roll a hit on round 1. He got 1 hit. I don't roll a hit in round 2. He gets 1 more hit. Now I'm getting a little worried because that was 16 dice, no hits. And I'm down to maximum of 3 more rounds of combat, during which I really want to finish off Rivendell. So I play Devilry of Orthanc as a combat defect. Instead of saving Dreadful Spells, so maybe Woodland Realm. But it gets me 3 hits. So now I'm feeling good again about Rivendell. I press, no card. I get 1 more hit. I press again and get another hit. So Rivendell turned out to be much closer than I thought it would be. But I still got it done in 1 die, so I'm happy. And yeah, he separates Gimli to Erebor to maybe fight back and you. I think that's a very good move on his part because Fellowship is more than healthy enough. They don't really need Gimli anymore, and his military is looking pretty dire shape. And without sending off Gimli like that, it would have been a free win next round for me. But with Gimli there and him moving the dwarves to war now, you could become a little problematic. So I decide, well, if I win this round, it doesn't really matter anymore. And so I decide to just try it. Odds are not that great, but I feel like I have a decent shot. And I decide, okay, I can play Mumakil round 1, and then press, and then maybe play Onslaught, and hopefully get 5 hits from that if he doesn't roll a ton of hits back. But the downside is that me playing Shadows Gather here means I can no longer just blitz Dol Guldur army into Woodland Realm next round. It's gonna cost me 3 dice to get these guys over. And I might not roll that many attacks. And then I might be screwed if the dwarves liberate Dale and I don't roll a lot of attacks. Then he might be able to dunk in 2 rounds. So I think that was a mistake. I think I should have just attacked Woodland Realm, use Ruler's Death, and then finish him next round. Then the guys from Dol Guldur over, take Woodland Realm, and then if I have a ton of attacks, just march into Edoras, and if I don't, then hopefully the remaining Woodland Realm army is big enough to fight the dwarves for Dale afterwards. Because I have much more leadership. I only get 1 hit, he gets 2, and I decide, okay, I'm not going to win it this round, so I might as well stop. Still looking pretty good for me. But he has a shot now to stall me, which I had not anticipated 2 turns ago. And I really wish with this roll that I still had Shadows Gather, but I don't. I do have half Orcs though, so I'm hoping that it might be enough to at least take Woodland Realm this round. And then the Dol Guldur army might be enough to fight the dwarves for Dale. I now play Cruelest Death. Get 2 hits. He gets 3 hits back though, and that means it might not work out. But I tried anyways because I feel like, okay, I roll 8 dice with Desperate Battle. Should be enough for 2 hits. But it's not. And he gets 2 hits back, and now I'm really starting to worry, oh man, how did Woodland Realm go so bad that suddenly it looks like he might even be able to free Woodland Realm from siege, and then I might just lose the game. The good thing is, though, the more he attacks this round, the less he's moving the Fellowship. So he attacks Dale. I play Swarm of Bats because I expected him to play Valor, and I really want at least one guy to survive this. And they do, but Swarm of Bats and Valor played no part in that. Yeah, now the debate is between saving the Witch King or just hoping that not gonna die, or just trying to stun with the Realm, hoping for a hit. That's exactly what I decide to do. He doesn't have a strategy card, so I feel like, well, with Cruelest Death, I should get one hit on 6 dice. And I do. Actually. And he gets a hit back again, so painful. But the situation now is I have this army over here which can come over. I can muster the Mouth of Sauron, move them once, and next round, like if he attacks Woodland Realm and tries to press it down, then he's not moving the Fellowship at all. And he does not have a strong army left anymore, so he doesn't roll a lot of musters. Then the refreshment army from Dol Guldur might be enough to take over Dew again. So it's still looking pretty good for me, I'd say, but less good than it was looking like last round. They play one with Sorin Toil here because they don't really have a useful playable card otherwise, and I want him to be revealed and potentially run into Retal, so I want him to choose early if he wants to use Mithril Code for a suboptimal tile, or lose it altogether. Yeah. Not perfect, but I don't think I had a better play. Drawing a card is definitely worse. And yeah, this is exactly what I was hoping for. If he runs it tonight. But yeah, he doesn't need to take Legolas down, of course. You can just use Axe and Bow, which he does, which is smart. Get the mouth. He hides with the ring. Makes sense. Though he doesn't really have chances to tank next round without Strider. Though this theoretically means he could dunk this round. Does not have There Is Another Way, though. So extremely unlikely, but theoretically possible. But I'm not really worried about that. I am worried about him being able to retake Woodland Realm now, though. But that would still be fine, because this army could probably take both Dale and Erebor. He moves too much over to Woodland Realm, which he has to ensure that he wins the siege. He attacks Woodland Realm, which I expected, but he leaves Dale completely open. So I'm thinking, okay, you can have Woodland Realm. I'll take Dale and Erebor. And then if you retake Dale from Woodland Realm, then I'll just take Fold. He tries Woodland Realm. I try to maybe cycle a card, but he rolls so many 6s that I don't get to cycle because the Witch King just dies. But yeah, he's left with only 2 dice, so if he retakes Dale, then he can only move the Fellowship by using his last ring, and then it's very unlikely that he gets to dunk next round, so I'm still feeling pretty good. Yeah, he does retake Dale like I expected, but I have a shot at Edoras, which is empty. I have a pretty big army there, so all I need is for this giant army in Erebor to defeat 2 Regulus in 3 rounds of combat, with me having 2 Onslaughts in hand, so that seems like a very strong possibility. And yeah, I get 1 hit against Shield Wall, which is perfect. I press, get nothing, I press again, this time with Onslaught. I get nothing, He gets one hit back. I'm starting to feel worried because I feel like, well, I'm gonna do an onslaught for 4 here. And if I lose 4 coin tosses, then I might just lose the game. But I do take 4. I get 1 hit, which is just the right amount of hits that I needed. And I breathe a sigh of relief because this means I win the game. Yeah, the game is technically over at this point because he can't stop me from taking errors anymore, even if he had something, but he doesn't because he doesn't strategy card in hand anymore. Yeah, but I said it would be nice to have a clean log because technically the game is not over yet. Because I'm only at 9 victory points, so I get to 10, and he moves the fellowship, and this is the final state of the game. And thinking back about him using a ring to get into Ambar and him being very safe with his movement against my many eyes, if you look at the state of the fellowship right now, it's 3 corruption, very pleasant hunt pool, and yeah, being 3 steps from being able to win the game though. I mean, he did have some more movement this round, so if he was closer, he had very good chances to win on turn 9 though. Like I said a couple of turns ago. Yeah. So showing you the stats. So I'm very low on 6s, -8. Being +4 on 5s made up for it to some degree, but I felt like most of the 5s came in rounds when I was only hitting on 6s. Like him moving against 4 eyes and me rolling a 5 or 2 5s, or me fighting in Rivendell or Woodland Realm or Erebor without cards and not getting hits. On one hand, it's a little risky to attack without playing a card. On the other hand, I didn't really have playable cards. Like Onslaught is not good when you have a pretty small army. He was +4 in hits, which was very painful in Woodland Realm, but otherwise didn't affect the game too much. And I'm plus on Palantirs and Eyes, and he's plus on movement. So yeah, he really should have been able to win by 10-9, but at the same time, yeah, you never know. I mean, if you move too much against 4 eyes, then it might go bad for the Fellowship. Like I might hit Kennels of Corpses for 3 or something, and then deal this Bane for 3. Yeah. It's always tough, but I think looking at the state of the game, Fellowship was too healthy. Warren playing it so safe. But anyways, yeah, this was game 1 of round 1 against krechet. And next time I'll be playing 3 people against krechet's Shadow. So let's see how that goes. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good day and goodbye.